get off my ass and do something and not procrastinate. The other half of me actually wants to be able to make some sort of difference for my children's children. You know, that's really why I choose, you know, sorry, I'm going to get on a tangent here for a second, Bill, and I hope you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Well, a lot of folks, and I was starting to allude to, we're new in the Facebook thing, and that's really, you know, we haven't become that big yet. We're just starting to show off, and I know I'm pissing a lot of people off on Facebook right now. Friends of mine going, dude, easy. I want to come home. I want to have a good time. I want to just, you know, talk to my friends, tell them what I had for dinner, you know, tell them that I, you know, was outside walking on the street and I saw this and that and the other. Facebook is that for some. Facebook is also one of the direct reasons that there was a revolution pulled off in Egypt right now, because the contact that people had with each other on Facebook, up until it was yanked from them, and it started things off. And I have no apologies. If you want to not see what I have to say, or not see what Bill has to say, or, you know, look the other way, all you got to do is delete me. You know, believe me. Please. Get rid of me. You won't see anything I have to say, but I'm not backing off. You know, we got to ring the bell, man. Everyone's got to step up and at least be a real human being about these things and talk about them and try to help each other, educate each other on this stuff, or else you're just a tool. You're just a sheeple.
You know, but we have a society full of sheeples that do not want to be their lives turned upside down. These are the same people that are sitting there condemning Charlie Sheen and pissed that, you know, 2.5 Men's been canceled for the end of the, you know, season. It's all about just staying on the goddamn couch and being complacent, and that's what we got to break out of. And I just, you know, we do this show, you know, we've had great lyricists come on and tell us how they're, in their own ways, are trying to break people out of this. You know, just I fear that we are too late, that we are in so deep, to go back to your Guido analogy, that, you know, our vig is so deep on life that, you know, we're fucked. I mean, really, you know, Dave Mustaine, I'm going to use Dave right there. That's, you know, what was the line in Peace Sells But Who's Buying? If there's a better way, I'll be the first in line.
There's a new way. I'll be the first in line.
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know.
Oh, yeah, no. Dave, someone says Dave is a sheep. Another person says some people want to stay in the dark, leave them there. Absolutely. But you can't, you know, can I just go back to that comment right there?
Yeah.
And then Dave Mustaine. Some people want to stay in the dark, leave them there. Yeah, leave them there, but don't not throw them the rope so they have the choice to grab on or just sit there and go, there's nothing I can do about it. Because, you know, hey man, guess what? I got a secret. It might be true. There might be nothing you can do about it. But don't tell anybody that, because you got to keep fighting, man. You don't want to be one of those people that just goes down with no cause in your life. I mean, if someone wants to be, more power to them. But I am not the type of person that's going to sit there and watch somebody drown without throwing them some sort of lifeline.
Well, you know, I would like to help as many people as possible open their eyes and get out there. It was just mentioned about Dave's a sheep now because he's a born-again Christian. I'm going to take a little bit of exception with that, because somebody is a Christian or spiritual does not make them a sheep. Now, followers of a certain, you know, religion, you know, if you take what that religion tells you, what that priest, what that you know, I don't want to say Catholics in particular, but, you know, if you take what the higher ups in the church tell you as just fact, then you're a sheep. But if you have a strong spiritual belief in God or a higher power, a collective consciousness, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Because I am the Reverend, I will preach on this. Because you believe in God, higher power, whatever you believe in, does not make you a sheep. It makes you more in tuned, I would say, than anything else.
Right. Well, I mean, the problem there fundamentally is religion and trying to get mind control and trying to keep people in line. I don't know if you people know it. You should know it. But Bill here, Barbed Wire Bill, is an ordained minister of the collective
That's right.
Hard. He can marry you too.
I can, and just
Two men or two women in certain states now. You can do that too.
I'm gonna have to come out to the Bay Area, and I might get some work soon. That's that's one of the things that is being talked about right now is California, or no, Obama. Sorry, you go ahead and explain it because you're closer to the situation.
Well, I just want to get back to what I will. I'll get right to that. But I think that the whole thing with Dave Mustaine, I just wanted to touch on that. I don't really have so much of an opinion about what he says he is right now. I think it's good for him to a certain degree. It's good for anybody to have a higher power of belief. And I believe in, the collective conscious. I don't believe in there's somebody taking notes and judging. That's just me. But what I don't like is when anybody uses that as ammunition and a fallback plan for arguments and becomes a hypocrite by using the born-again term. I don't like that. I'm not saying Dave is, but I know plenty of people that are, and I don't like that. All right? So that's just my opinion there. Worship whatever you like, but just be good to one another is my own philosophy.
And that's really what religion should boil down to. It's not, I've spent a lot of years, growing up, going to church, and my parents would, I guess because we had 4 kids in the family, anything to get us out of the house would put us on a church bus on Sunday, and it didn't matter which church it was the first church bus to pull up in front of the house we were on. And I went to Southern Baptist, I went to Pentecostal, I've been to Methodist, I've been to Catholic, you name it, I've been to them all.
Wow.
You name it, I have tried them all. And you know what works best? Going up on a mountainside and just...
Oh, I believe that. That's how Moses done do it.
Exactly. I've never felt closer to a God, a higher power, than up on a mountainside looking down on just the majesty of this planet that we're fucking up every day. And that's a different point though. My original point was, one of the things about modern religion is they preach judgment and being judgmental. And that leads to, the Mormon Church working so fucking hard to outlaw gay marriage in California after they, it was legalized by the people of the state. The judgment that comes out of these people is just fucking sickening to me. If you look back at your Bible, and I'm not a Bible thumper, okay, don't get me wrong, I do not take the Bible as faxed on high from God to us. It has been beat down, crushed through man, regurgitated to fit our needs, as seen by our overseers. But
right. Written and re-edited again and again.
Exactly. But, one of the things that has never changed about it, and maybe it has, I'm not a Bible scholar, I'm just a minister, is the basic tenet of judge not, lest ye be judged. But every fucking religion out there, every major organized religion preaches judgment. Judgment. What you're doing is wrong. You're going to hell. It's terrible. I'm just so fucking tired of the judgmentalness and that bullshit that comes out of the religious subculture of this country. That's one of the things that, if people do not agree on this one, you're just fucked up and you're not looking the right way. I'm telling you, because...
Don't be so judgmental.
I'm not being judgmental. I'm just telling you, you're a fucking idiot if this is not the truth. Religion is when they say it's the opiate of the masses, that is true. That is above and beyond all trueness. It is. And it's another tool used by the elitists, whatever you want to call them, to continue to divide and conquer us. And people need to wake up to that alone.
You're absolutely right, Bill. I'm gonna steer it a little bit over another direction. Back to what you're saying about California, and I got a little quote over here that one of our listeners says: "Let the gay people enjoy the wonderful with a happy face. And let them all be miserable just like other married people are too.
Amen.
Let everyone be themselves. Let everybody be themselves. And do not judge. You know, it's like living in a glass house and throwing, you know, well, how did, living in a glass house, throwing stones, whatever. You get my cliche.
Yeah.
And around California, one of the most liberal places in, really in the world, or at least self-proclaimed liberal. I think there's more that I've actually visited. But, you know, yeah, they passed a law, and the majority went for it, and somebody came in and spent an extraordinary amount of money. I'm not going to, you know, I mean, somebody spent a lot of money to try to make sure these laws did not pass. And I'm sure there's more than just the one that you mentioned, Bill. There was quite a few organizers that, you know, but I think that church has the largest stronghold and foothold out here in California compared to some of the other ones that have invested money into trying to destroy it. And I actually woke up to shock the other day to see that Barack Obama was finally acting. Now, this is acting. I'm not stupid enough to think this really meant anything, but he was acting like he was going to get rid of this law that stood in the way of the gay union, or the union of two gay people, however you want to put the gay union. You know, are they on strike, the gay union? I don't know about it.
I don't think that we have much of a gay contingency yet. We are a gay-friendly show. Hey, I don't care who you sleep with.
We're just people talking here. We're just people talking, all right? I can make mistakes. But anyway, you know, I was shocked to see that he, you know, was coming out to try to abolish some sort of thing. Now, listen, man, if I'm not mistaken, it's coming up on re-election time, right? I mean, I'm looking at my watch here. Are we getting close to re-election time, kids?
Yeah, always.
Trying to get more votes again? What is he trying to do? And I could just feel the hatred. As soon as I read it, I was like, oh, man, here we go again. Another issue to distract us from other issues. That's what it seems like to me. You know, it is important, but is it going to move to the forefront of issues now? Has it become more important than all the other things happening in the country? I guess people will ultimately decide, but the press is going to help decide, too. What are they going to make the biggest issue? Is it going to be the fact that he's going to possibly overturn what the Republican Party has tried to set in place, or is it going to be the fact that they didn't get invited? I mean, the Barack Obama first family didn't get invited to the wedding of Prince
William.
What's important?
You know, none of that's important. You know, I didn't get an invite, and you don't see me fucking crying about it. You know, that's just, come on, guys. These are, once again, further distractions from what's really going on in the world. You know, this thing with HAARP going on right now, and we haven't really seen much about what's going on in New Zealand. It's not been really getting the press that maybe because it's not a third world nation. You have a buddy that's there right now, right?
Herein lies another issue altogether, and this gets a little more solar and celestial. But yes, our whole planet is alive and quaking in its own boots right now. You know, every seismograph across the entire planet is right now humming, and so that's just one place. And I had read that partially the reason why it was so much destruction because it's a soft dirt area where they're at. But I mean, hey man, I can't turn my camera towards my backyard, but I live on the Hayward Fault. I mean, I'm on the Hayward Fault over here. Okay, my backyard is the Hayward Fault. So if the world's going to open up and suck people down inside, I'm definitely one of them. And I don't see anything that's going to really help that situation. You know, I watched. Just let me I'm going to go off the reservation for a second, and I watched that whole Decoded about the Georgia Guidestone.
UFO flying on.
I don't know if you watched that, but man, there is an interesting story right there. And at the end, this young guy brings out a map and says, "This is what the world's going to look like." And California covered, part of Florida covered, Great Lakes blown up, the Mississippi blown up, California actually all the way up to Washington covered. These places are supposed to be covered.